why they're being brought under subjection in a ruthless way. Okay, now let's continue. Verse 7 down to verse, as I said, verse 7 down to verse 12. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Asatan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. There you go. Now, brothers and sisters, this is deep, and this brings us into Romans. This is deep right here, and it brings into Romans. Because, brothers and sisters, last night we discussed how sin is a spirit, right? I mean, we know sin is a transgression of a law, but that's by a spirit of unrighteousness. And brothers and sisters, what we need to understand is Asatan and the Most High Yahweh, who is being represented by Yahushai. So therefore we can say Yahushai, Messiah, and Asatan are at war with each other. Testing 1, 2, 3. Do y'all understand what I just said? Asatan and Yahushai are at war with each other. At war. Now, what does that mean? Right now is a spiritual war. So what do you have? You have Messiah, Yahushai. Messiah, listen carefully. Messiah has been given power from the Father, so that if Messiah chose, he can destroy Asatan, not with his hands, with a word. He can cause Asatan to cease to exist. So he's not worried about Asatan. I mean, really, he's not at all concerned with Asatan in that regard. So what is he doing? Messiah at this point is going to show Asatan the power of the Father's righteousness. Let me say that again. Messiah is about to demonstrate to Asatan the power of the Father's righteousness. You want to know how? Read the book of Job. In the book of Job, Father demonstrated to Asatan in Job the power of the Father's Spirit and righteousness. Asatan said, he only serving you because you have your hedge about him. I can't get to him. You gave him all this money. You gave him all this authority. You've given him all these blessings, things that are on the earth. And if you took that stuff away from him, he'll curse you to your face. And what did the Father tell him? Father said, listen, you could take everything he had. You can even affect his health if you want, but you can't kill him. You can't kill him. Why is that? You see, brothers and sisters, listen carefully. Listen carefully now. If there's, and I told my wife and I were talking about this morning. If there's 10 people and Asatan wants all 10 to serve him, but 9 faithfully and willfully serve Asatan, and 1 will not serve him. 1 will serve only the Creator. What Asatan will do is he will kill that 1 and say there's 9 left, and then he can make the claim they all serve me because they all do at that point, right? You see what I'm saying? So if there's 10 people and 1 of them will not serve Asatan, but 9 of them will, and he kills that 1 off so that the only ones that's left are people that serve him, he can rightly go to the Creator and say they all serve me. Right. So now that has been his object. But the Messiah, the Father told him, no, you can't kill this one. You can't kill Job. What you got to do is you got to make him curse me to my face. Like you said, I'm taking away everything. I'm putting him under your power. So now make him serve you. You see, because that's what deception has to be, brothers and sisters. Again, we talk about Adam and Eve. What happened with Adam and Eve? Y'all very well aware. What happened? Notice what happened. Eve was asked by Asatan, aren't you allowed to eat of all the trees? And then she clearly answered him with clear understanding of the truth. She said, we can eat of all the trees, but we're not allowed to eat of this tree. Because the Messiah, the Father said, Creator say, if we eat of this tree, we're going to die. So now she clearly demonstrated an understanding of what the Father said. She was not confused by what the truth was. She clearly understood that. So now, that being the case, now he moves in and he offers her something else to get her, to induce her to choose to go against what she knows to be the truth, right? So he says to her, you shall not surely die. For the Creator does know that if you eat of this tree, you're going to be a god, sister. And so she makes a decision to go against the truth that she was told, to believe Asatan. Therefore, Asatan now has control of this earth. Adam went there, and Adam wasn't deceived. Adam wanted to play hero to his wife, and he took of the fruit and ate it. He wasn't deceived. She was. That's why the woman is always supposed to be under the man. Always. Not that he's supposed to lord it over her or mistreat her. Definitely not. Matter of fact, the Bible says his prayers would not be heard if he mistreats the woman. The Bible says that. Your prayers be hindered if you mistreat the woman. No, but she is supposed to be subjected to her husband because she was fooled. Her mother was fooled. The father was not. Okay, he chose. So now, that's the principle has been set. The principle has been set. The rules and the game has been set. Asatan has to have a people that understand what the truth is, and he has to induce them through fear, through desire, through lust, through something. He has to induce them to choose him. You understand? Again, we talk about the 3 Hebrew worthies. They're out there in the plain of Dura. There's a statue. They're supposed to be at a dedication of the statue. But instead it turns into a worship service. Nebuchadnezzar now makes an announcement. All y'all gonna bow to this statue. And if you don't bow to it, I'm gonna throw you in fire. I'm gonna throw you in a furnace. The commandment is plain. Thou shalt have no, I am Yahweh, thy most high, that brought you out of the land of Mizraim, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to any graven image, or any likeness of anything that be in heaven above or on earth beneath, or anything in the sea. Thou bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I'm a jealous God. So the 3 Hebrew boys understand that. They see it. They see the statue. And they make a plain statement. They say, we're not careful to answer you in this matter, O king. We will not serve your God. Period. And now he's threatening them. He understands. Nebuchadnezzar was not ignorant to their belief. Remember, Daniel was in that kingdom. He totally understands what they believe. So he knows, he understands, they have a clear understanding. They can't bow to this statue. They will not do it. And yet he's threatening them with death. So he throws them in the fiery furnace, and we know what happened. They were delivered. So, brothers and sisters, as it is then, so it is now. The rules of engagement have been set. We must understand the truth. That is why Messiah is working as the high priest to show through the 144,000 and the people that are with them the righteousness of the Father. He's going to show the earth his righteous character through the spirit that he seals these people with. That's what he's going to do. Asatan, in the meantime, is having the majority of the planet, the vast majority of the earth, serving him through Christianity and Islam and Judaism. He having them chase after money and fame and power and being on television and being in movies and being in concert. He having them get loose on these things so that people will lust after these things, so that when it's time, the 144,000 will only have the power of the Father's Spirit. And it's going to be an awesome power. An overwhelming power. No money, no bank accounts, no fame. The power of the Father's Spirit. They won't even know who we are, but they're going to know that power when they see it. Okay? They're going to know that power when they see it. And the word that will be spoken from our lips will tell them, you're living a lie. This is the truth. There's only one Father. He has chosen one people. We are the representation of the nation of Israel. We are the true people. You have to make a decision, because if you worship this man, this Pope and his imps, you're going to receive the wrath of our Father, and the people of earth will be brought to make a decision at that time. And we're being prepared, because that message is the most powerful, important message this earth has ever heard. Because right now it's the end right here. This is it right here. This is it. And so we have to be prepared to give this message. He told the disciples, he said, tarry at Jerusalem until you be endowed with power from on high. And he said, and then they said to him, Master, will you at this time restore the kingdom to Israel? And he said, it is not for you to know the times and seasons which the Father hath in his own power, but ye shall receive power. After that, the set apart spirit is come upon you. That is the perfect righteousness of the Father. And he said, when you receive that power, you're going to be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and to the uttermost parts of the earth. Brothers and sisters, that has not changed. That has not changed. So right now we are being prepared to receive power. You got to be prepared to receive power. You can't just, he's not going to pour it on you in your present state. You got to be prepared. You got to be totally given over. This is the greatest gift he can give you. He got to be able to trust you with this gift. Can he trust you with the keys to this gift? Can he trust you with his spirit on you? Can he trust you? Or you going to turn on him because you're scared? Or you going to turn on him because you want to be famous? Or you going to turn on him because you want money? You going to turn on him because you want power? What is it going to take? What Asatan got to offer you? At the end, Job said, I lay my hand on my mouth and I repent in dust and ashes. So that all the troubles Asatan brought on that brother only caused them to get closer. Only caused them to get closer to Yah. Same thing going to be with the 144,000. All the houses taken away. We living in the street. I'm trying to tell y'all the truth. We're going to be living in the street. We're not going to have anybody giving us nothing. Money is going to be worthless to us. And we have no place to go but to the most desolate area. It won't make any sense for us to live in the city. Not anymore. They'll want to kill us. We can't live in no towns. Nobody going to want us around. We're going to end up walking into the nearest wilderness. The Most High Spirit and his angels will lead us. He says, I've made a covenant with the beast. He said that. I've made a covenant with the beast. You're not going to be harmed by grizzly bears. They're not going to mess with you. The snake's not going to bite you. He's going to protect you. I've made a covenant with the animals. He said, you're going to be out there. He's going to take care of you. You're not going to have any food. You're not going to know where your food coming from, where your next meal coming from. But you're going to have a complete, implicit, total trust in your Father. And that is being worked on right now from the most holy place of the heavenly sanctuary in the third heaven by our high priest, the Hebrew Messiah, Yahushua. He is now preparing us for that time. Exactly. We will know how our fathers were taken care of. We will have a clear understanding how they were taken care of. We will have a clear understanding of the mistakes they made, and we will be determined not to repeat them. Not to repeat them. And he's going to take care of us. And we're going to be faithful by the grace of the Most High. And that's what he's preparing us for right now. And Asatan is preparing the earth. You see, you got a president that's a buffoon. He's an actor. He had a TV show, and he deceived the whole Caucasian people into following him. Okay, and all this is just Asatan preparing the people to receive what they see on television, to receive what they see, the illusion that they're watching, to receive it as the truth. And the reason they will receive it as the truth is because they refuse to depend and trust on the plain written text that we have been given. They refuse to look at the one true God. They refuse to repent of their sins and the sins of their fathers. Therefore, they're going to receive a lie. And brothers and sisters, once you receive a lie, you have to understand, Asatan must, listen carefully now, he must go against, he must cause the receiver of his spirit to go against the truth. That's what we're talking about. He has to go against everything that is written as true. So let's bring now Romans chapter 1. Romans chapter 1. So in other words, when you're under Asatan's spirit, at first you may not even realize what's going on, but he slowly is going to cause you to go against the word of the Father. He's going to cause you to reject the truth of Messiah. Not the white Jesus. He wants you to receive white Jesus. He wants you, Asatan wants people to become Christians. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you the truth. He wants people. He wants people in his universal church. There's no question. He wants you in there. Okay? He wants you in there because it's a brainwash factory of the highest order. He wants you in there. He wants you there. He wants you crying for white Jesus. He wants you doing that. Yes. And he controls you with his spirit. Once, one time, when we were in Roanoke, Virginia, right? This was before my wife and my family actually woke up to the truth. I was just awakening to the truth. At that time, I was awakening to the truth that all the Christian churches were corrupt, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I was still calling myself a Christian at that moment. It was just the last vestiges of that. But I wanted to trust in the Word alone and in the Father alone with the Messiah. That's it. I didn't want no church, didn't want no denomination, nothing. But my wife and my children weren't with that yet, and I totally understood that. And they wanted to visit SDA churches on Sabbath, so we went. We were in this one SDA church, and there was a woman pastor leading it. Of course, you know your brother had a problem with that. What she wanted everybody to do, though, the exercise that followed, what she wanted everybody to do was really amazing. What happened? She wanted everybody to close their eyes and meditate on her voice and what she said. That's what she wanted. She had the whole, and of course, you know your brother did not close his eyes. I was looking around, and I was watching everybody get hypnotized by this woman. Yes, brothers and sisters. And she said certain words she wanted them to repeat. And in fact, she was using the word Sabbath. She kept saying Sabbath, and she kept saying it rhythmically. And you know it was amazing because my wife and I had went to visit my son and my grandchildren in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And while we were in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there's a giant Catholic cathedral in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I always liked the architecture of the building. I mean, I'm just telling you, obviously we don't worship Catholicism, but the architecture of the building, we wanted to look at it and we wanted to see all the pagan symbols for ourselves and take pictures of them. And we also wanted to see like if there was ways that went down underground, because we know that back in the day they perform abortions and they tortured people in these giant cathedrals in the basements and places you don't even know exist. So we wanted to see any signs of that. So we went walking through the place. And as we were walking through, the cardinal or the priest, whatever, he was having a service. And he did the same thing. He had a certain rhythmic music going on the organ, right? And then he kept saying these words in Latin and the people were just breathing it in. And he kept rhythmically saying he was brainwashing them and they didn't even know it. And he was controlling them and they didn't know it. And that's what that woman was trying to do in that church. You see, it's all the same thing, brothers and sisters, all the same. And so what the people are doing right now through the television, through the radio, through the media in general, through the religious powers, most definitely, they're being controlled, hypnotized into a deep sleep of death. A sleep of death. That's what's going on right now. Even in the deadest spiritual, and there's a lot of dead ones out there. I mean, dead, like you can see tumbleweed in the aisle, some of them. There's some dead ones, even the most dead ones, the most live ones with all the music, they're being put into a sleep of death. And they don't realize that what's going on now, they'll be able to be controlled by Satan, and he'll be able to give them commands. And let's look at Romans chapter 1, and let's go from Romans chapter 1, from verse 19 down to verse 25. Romans 1, 19 to 25. Romans 1, 19 to 25. Notice what it said. Because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifest in them, for Yahweh hath showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew Yahweh, they glorified him not as Yahweh, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible Most High into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to the uncleanness through their lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of Yahweh into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. You see, brothers and sisters, one of the things Satan does is cause the people that worship him to give honor and glory to other things aside from the Creator. You see, brothers and sisters, if he can induce the peoples of the earth to honor anything else but the Creator, that is the only true God, the Israelite God of the nation, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I keep saying that because that is not the same God the Catholics worship. It's not the same God the Muslims worship. Let me just address that Muslim thing. I respect Muslims. I respect Muslims. Malcolm X was a Muslim. And Malcolm X is one of my favorite human beings to ever walk this earth. I respect Malcolm X. I respect Malcolm X. I respect Muslims. I respect Nation of Islam people. But the truth of the matter is, only a Hebrews are called to be prophets. There is no Gentiles called to be prophets. No other Arabs, no other Semites, except those of the Israelite nation are called to be prophets in these last days. You never had any, okay? Except, you go from Noah, and you come from Noah to Abraham. From Abraham on, you're only going to see Israelite prophets. As a matter of fact, it was an Israelite prophet, Moses, that told us about Noah. Moses wrote the book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and that was an Israelite man. So you're only going to have Israelite prophets. You're not going to have Arab prophets called Muhammad. So we cannot acknowledge Muhammad as a prophet. Okay, we don't do that. And the Most High told us there's only one true God, and he doesn't worship any gods. And he said all the gods of the nations are idols. Yahweh made the heavens, only but one. He chose Abraham, his servant, and Israel, his chosen, his inheritance. He only has one. Therefore, we respect Muslims. We respect their choice to worship who they call Allah, and which to us is not a name, it's a title. Allah just means God, it just means deity. Anything can be Allah. You can make anything, you can make a tree into Allah, but his name is Yahweh. That's his name. Yah is his name. Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, because there's only but one. That's his name. Okay? Name's not Allah. And they like to point to Messiah on the cross when he said, Ali, Ali, lama sakbaktani, because they're saying he's using the word Allah. What he's saying is my God. It's not his name. He's calling upon my God because he knows it's personal, my God. Ali, Ali, lama sakbaktani. And they say, see, he's worshiping Allah. He was a Muslim. I heard even Malcolm X said that. All of y'all Muslim. No, I'm sorry. There's only one man went into a mountain and came down with the covenant. That was Moses. Wasn't no Muhammad did it. No, I'm sorry. No. There's only but one covenant. He gave it to the nation of Israel. I am Yahweh, thy Most High, that brought thee out of the land of Mizraim from the house of bondage. Only one people went through that. Wasn't no Arabs. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. He gave that covenant to the Israelite nation. He has done it with no other people. No other people on planet Earth. The only holy people of the Israelite nation, and everybody has to come through them to get this truth. I'm saving the Israelites through by faith, and the circumcised by faith. We're going to read that in this very book of Romans. We're reading the circumcised by faith and the uncircumcised through faith. You uncircumcised? You heathen? You want to be saved? You better come through the Israelite nation. You Israelites, you better believe in your own Messiah, your brother, your bloodline. See? So brothers and sisters, while we respect the Nation of Islam, we respect the people that worship in those things, we cannot acknowledge any Muhammad as a prophet. No, sorry. And there's not many prophets from all over the earth. There's only but one group of prophets. They come from the Israelite nation. Just one. Anybody that wants the truth has to hear it from one of them. All the Gentiles we're reading about right here in the New Testament received their truth from an Israelite. Paul said, are they Israelites? So am I. Are they Hebrews? So am I. That's right. A nation of priests and ministers. And when you say, well, man, they've been scattered and messed up. That's why the world is messed up. The world is messed up is because the Israelites are messed up. When the Israelites are put in a proper place, the world's going to be in perfect order. And it's designed like that from the Creator. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Not the one out there. The copycat. The Hollywood set. Not that one. The New Jerusalem coming down from heaven made with our hands. With the 12 tribes names on the gates and the 12 apostles Hebrew names in the foundations. That one. That one. Where it's called Yahweh is there. That's the one. So they changed the truth of Yah into a lie and serve the creature more than the creator. Anything he gets you to worship that's not him is Asatan. Anything he gets you to honor and glory that's not the creator is Asatan. Okay? And what you have now, you have people that gives honor to the creature. What? They worship the body of woman, the body of man. Right? They worship churches and denominations. Anything. And then of course you got the vegan people that worship nature. We must save the planet. You're going to poison the planet. We have to save the planet. And they act like the planet is their God. I seen one, I'll never forget. There was one and she was very popular. Of course, she's sticking all kind of Botox in her face and mess. But she was very popular. And she cried when she showed a video of them killing a cow. And chick was crying like it was the end of the world. I can't believe they did that to the cow. And she was crying, right? And she spoke like I'm speaking to you. Yeah, I had an abortion. Yeah, I don't want to add another baby to the planet. So the baby she can kill with no second thought. But boy, she go crazy when they killed that cow. I'm not saying killing the cow is a nice thing, but it just shows where the priorities are. More respect for the creature than the man made in the image of the creator. That's where we're at. That's how backwards things are right now. Praise the Most High Yah for the promise of the spirit of righteousness upon his people. Let's continue. From verse 26 down to verse 32, Romans chapter 1, 26 to 32. Notice what it says. For this cause Yahweh gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. Even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. And that's where we are. That's where we are on the earth today. Can't trust none of these people. Can't trust a politician. Can't trust a preacher. Can't trust nobody. Homosexuality. You got a man running for president that's a sodomite. You know what that means when they talk about gay rights. They're talking about the right to be sodomized or to sodomize somebody else. That's the right they're fighting for. And that you can allow a sodomite, somebody that wants to have a man's penis in their anus or put their penis in another man's anus. This should have a special right. Should be equal with people that don't do that. In fact, we should think that it's normal and teach the children this is normal. Well, two women should be allowed to love and kiss and lick each other all up. And that's normal. It's all good. All good. All good. And if you speak against it, that is a hate crime. Speak against it, and it's a hate crime. Now here, we're reading the scriptures, and the Bible shows us they're worthy of death. But you see, in today's society, in the perverted earth in which we live, they're not worthy of death. It is glorified. It is glorified. Okay? Not only that, what is an abortion? Really, what is an abortion? What is an abortion? Let's just speak of that real quick. An abortion is a person that's pregnant. A woman is pregnant and she decides, let's put it in the terms they use. She decides to terminate the pregnancy. Am I saying that correct? Isn't that how they say it? So a woman is pregnated and she decides to terminate the pregnancy. She decides to do that. Now, this creation of the termination of the pregnancy was a man's creation. They created this ability to do this. Now, of course, I totally understand if a woman was raped by her daddy, she don't want to have a baby by her daddy. Baby might be all messed up because daddy's seed not supposed to be in her. It might cause the child to be all messed up. So if she want to terminate that pregnancy, totally understand. Or a man snatches her and throws her down and violently rapes her. Under the stress of that rape, the baby is created. It's not the baby's fault, but it was under the stress of a rape. I totally can understand a woman that might want to terminate that pregnancy for the sake of the baby, society, and everybody. That's merciful. But if you just say, well, I can't afford a baby right now, or it's just inconvenient, my career, I got to do my career, you are actually, in either case, you are killing the baby. So what is abortion? It is the killing of the baby. That's what it is. And how perverted is our society? You have to have a man that is a liar, a cheat, a fornicator, but he is appointing judges that will stop baby killing. It's so confusing. You have a president that is in every way vile, except one way. He is appointing judges that will stop the baby killing. That's what he's doing. And the reason, let's get a little deeper. The reason they want to stop the baby killing is because it's mostly Caucasian babies that are being killed. They don't care if it's black babies being killed. They don't care. Matter of fact, I just heard him say, we really need more Planned Parenthood women of color. Why? It goes back to Moses, brothers and sisters. Never forget Egypt. Don't forget where you came from. If it's a male, throw it in the river. If it's a female, save it alive. They want to kill the male babies, the black male babies. If it's a male, throw it in the river. If it's a female, save it alive. So they said, women of color, we need the Planned Parenthood, the health. And it's our bodies. And if we don't want more babies, we can kill them. See, they planned it this way. Margaret Sanger wanted to get rid of black people. She is the one that's the founder of abortion and Planned Parenthood. It was Margaret Sanger. Look her up. And she wanted it. But what happened instead is all these career women, these Caucasian career women, were having the abortions. It's too early for me to have a baby. I'll have it later. When I'm 40, when I'm late 30s, when my career is underway. I'll have babies later. I can have it all. I can have a husband and a career and children when I want to. Gods. They become gods. And now it's kind of backfired. Now they can't have babies. They want to have them and can't have them. So they're saying, let's get rid of the baby killers. Well, at least the ones in the Caucasian areas. Let's double up on the ones with the women of color. Let's get rid of them Spanish ones and them black ones. Kill all the males. If it's female, keep it alive. And there you go, brothers and sisters. This is where we are. This is the state of the situation. And this is why it is vitally important that we receive the spirit of righteousness from the Father. It's the only thing that is right on this planet, brothers and sisters. Let's have a word of prayer.